Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of the Long Run Show. My name is Martin, and I'm no. You're gonna get in so much trouble for this. By the way, I've got a camera that moves. I'm just telling you now. It moves as I move. Let's see.
Oh, it makes me feel dizzy.
I know it's weird, isn't it? So apologies if you're watching this as a video and the camera's moving all the time. I haven't worked it out to stop it. It's a new camera. Anyway, this is a special show that we're doing. We're doing a pre-record because I'm at the Yorkshire Marathon, and if you could see down here, it's an ADHD nuclear bomb that's gone off in terms of packing for what is 2 days. And Hayden, are you racing this weekend or are you off this? I can't remember what we do. It's next weekend, the following
I've
weekend, you.
I've got a well-deserved week off this weekend.
But aren't you like doing like Valencia or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, we've got the Valencia half marathon. That's the week after, so we're not going out till end of next week. So nice week
Okay.
off this week.
Right. So what we thought we would do is we would use a really original name for this show that no one's ever used before. And we thought actually we would do like just jump on and literally have just jumped on and just chat about marathons, really, because we're sort of it's our favourite subject, I would say, isn't it, Hayden? Really, we love talking about them, we love training and we love running them and all that sort of stuff. So this is a show or an episode that's dedicated more to those marathons. We're going to talk about the majors because we've done a few of them this year. And we're also going to talk a little bit about what's like coming up because we've got New York City Marathon coming up. But also, I thought it would be worth for just 5-10 minutes just chatting in this episode. And I'd be keen to know whether you want us to do more of these episodes, by the way. Think of this as a pilot. Again, this has got a very original name that no one's ever thought of to this episode. So, but we wanted to see if you like this sort of stuff. But yeah, I thought this week, Hayden, on this episode, we could talk about whether majors now are becoming so busy, so overhyped. Are you better off going to, I don't want to use the word local, but like the other ones, let's say.
Yep.
But we'll come on to that, yeah? I thought that would be a great thing to do. So again, if you're joining us as a podcast or you're watching this as a video podcast, this is a special show that we're sort of trialing. I think that's the best way. Because the little guy over there, he's done quite a few, I would say, and you're Mr. Six Star, aren't you?
Apparently so. Is that the name I'll take Mr. Six Star over some of the names I've been called the past couple of years on this show. So yeah, I'll take Mr. Six Star.
Mr. Six Star, we're going to name him on this original titled show that we're doing today. So we've got a little bit of experience. I can't remember. I'll be honest with you, bro. I can't remember how many marathons I've actually run now. I'm lucky enough to have done quite a few.
I think last time we spoke about this, we're about roughly the same. I've got a thing you told me you're on about 13, 14, that sort of mark.
I think it might be more than that, bruv, but it's a few. I mean, just behind me, if you're watching on the video, you can see there's 6 London Marathon medals above my head over there. And that doesn't include the New York, Berlin ones. And I've done Berlin twice. I mean, how many of the majors have you done out of interest?
That was just got back from Chicago. That was number 11.
11 majors.
I've done 11 majors, so I've only done 14 marathons in total. So I'm not as experienced as you with regards to, I suppose, what do you want to call it? A non-major marathon. So yeah, I'm quite interested to hear a bit more about them. Be good.
Yeah, I actually, and that's where, because I've done like marathons, like I've done Chelmsford Marathon. I've done what's that one where you run up and down that lake in like
Dorney?
Dorney. I've done a marathon there. I've done what other ones have I done? Obviously we've both done Edinburgh. Yeah, I've done some strange ones, not strange, but like sort of.
Be careful.
Yeah, well, I don't care. But yeah, so we've got the point is that I would say everyday runners, and I mean how you classify that is entirely up to you. But we're just normal people. We've got jobs, we've got families, we've got kids, and we like to train because it's our thing to do. All right, so we're not some elites or we don't wear sore vests and look really great on the start line. We're well, he's quite old. So, we're just normal people like you, right? And we're trying to get better and we're, training as hard as we can. But at the same time, we've got lives to lead, all right? So that's sort of how we're looking at this. We say we're not elites in any shape or form. So in terms of the majors this year, right, I've done London with you, which was awesome.
Yep.
And you didn't do Tokyo this year, did you? You did Tokyo the year before.
The year before.
You did Boston this year?
Nope.
Year before?
Year before.
Year before, but you're doing Boston next year.
I am, yeah. Yeah, I'm booked up for Boston next April.
Both did Berlin together.
Yep.
Berlin and you've just done Chicago. He's wearing a Chicago t-shirt.
Yep.
And I did New York City Marathon with Hayden last year as well. So you've got some context. Now, would you say out of those, right? Because this year, I wouldn't say the elite field, and I don't want to go too elite because I don't really know what I'm talking about in that respect. But the elite fields feel a bit quieter. I feel like we're in a sort of, I mean, apart from the lady who just smashed the life out of the world in Chicago, I'm putting her to one side. I'm talking before that. The elite fields, they seem to be like in I don't know, in like a something with a generation change. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the problem is, a lot of it is when it comes to us guys and probably people listening to this podcast, we are on that everyday runner sort of spectrum. Even if we're
Mm,
really good runners, it doesn't mean we're not an everyday runner. We're still an everyday runner.
mm,
So when it comes to elite field, we might know the odd name, the odd your Kipchoge, your
mm,
Hassan, these sort of people. And Hassan herself, yeah, she's been awesome. Again, this year she was out at the Olympics and
mm,
she got silver. That sort of thing's keeping the elites in the sort of up there of your mind, what you're thinking about. With that sort of demise almost over the last year of Kipchoge, I think that's put a bit of a quietener on things, and obviously what
mm.
happened with Kipton,
Oh,
with the
awful.
tragic death of Kipton. So I think those sort of things are now we're looking for that new rising
Yeah.
superstar, maybe that we don't. They're not in the forefront of our mind. If someone says to me, "Name a world major marathon runner," I'd be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yeah."
Yeah.
You see what
Uh,
I mean?
yeah.
Yeah,
Again, we're not like into that sort of stuff, but the reason I bring it up is because when we was in Berlin, which was the 50th like race, big race, right? Huge participation. The elite field. Again, I might be being ignorant. Don't kill me in the comments, but I don't know. But you know what I mean? It was like, but the year before there was, I don't know. It just didn't. It just felt. It feels maybe it's because it's an Olympic year. Maybe because the guys and girls are focused on the Olympics a little bit more, and not so much on the sort of I don't know on the majors. I don't know. Maybe there's some.
It could be. I've got a feeling it could be the complete reverse. The fact that the
Mm,
majors have become more accessible to the public,
mm,
to your everyday runner. So I
mm,
think now there seems to be a big shift and a big focus. Whereas I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, that London field, a big chunk of it would have been what you call elite or sub elite runners.
mm.
Whereas now, I would say the biggest chunk is probably your let's go for it, everyday runners.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Or you got some of your club runners, but they're not quite sub elite just yet. They're
yeah, yeah,
bloody good runners, and
yeah.
you got
Amazing.
your people that are there for the experience. I think that's taken up a lot of the swell of these marathons, and rightly so. Why not? So maybe that's why it feels a little bit not so
Yeah,
much for these.
yeah, maybe that's the thing. I mean, I suppose that's one of the positives of social media in that respects that the stories that you hear about aren't the elites, where we used to
Correct.
hear about the stories of, the guy who ran and didn't wear a watch or had a
Mhm.
what or whatever it was. But you hear more about the stories of everyday runners doing these races. Like for example, on obviously I'm addicted to TikTok because of the dopamine hit I get, but it's like I was watching something about the ladies were coming in like 12 hours in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? It was like the news had done a big piece on that, which I think is great, by the way. Um, so I don't know. It just seems a bit weird this year that there's again. I might be totally wrong on this and reading it completely, wrong. And do let us know. But I just feel like I don't know. The focus has gone off a little bit of the elites in those majors.
Yeah, I think yeah. There's a lot of factors there, but you've definitely got this factor where it's a lot more
Olympics.
accessible to all of us. Yeah, the Olympics definitely. I think the fact it's more accessible and it's more out there. Like myself, God, I've just come back from Chicago
Mm.
Marathon. Maybe 5 6 years ago, this would have been like the absolute ultimate dream. I just cannot. I would be
Pinnacle.
pitching myself right now. Don't get me wrong, I still am to an extent,
Mm.
but it hasn't got that factor that I don't think they did have a few years ago. But don't get me wrong, I'm not demising the marathons by all means. The majors
No,
are my
no, no, no.
absolute
Yeah,
world.
no,
Love
no.
them.
It's but Berlin felt like I
Yeah.
obviously I was quite critical of it on this podcast. How I felt like it was over marketed, overhyped. It was all about influencers. It was all about Adidas Pro Fours. It was all about Adidas SLs. It was this. It was just complete marketing. Bang, bang, bang. Which again, I totally understand. Right, being in that environment, I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying that's really what it felt like. It was more about that than necessarily the actual running element of it.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't as much focus on that side of things, even though, like I said, the 50th part of the fact of that race was 50 years old, I felt was diluted a lot,
Yeah.
considering how amazing that is. But you are right. I do think like these majors, apart from Boston, but they seem to be more popular than ever,
Yep.
because of the post-pandemic generation that have come out of that and are taking it on, and that's great. Running is like in its elite below elites is like in its healthiest it's ever been because of that everybody took it up in the pandemic and now are now reaching to do these like marathon distances and stuff like that. So I think that's really healthy, and they've swelled the fields, and I think that has made it, I don't know, more accessible, but at the same time less accessible, I suppose, because there's so many people scrambling for the places,
But
isn't it?
people are also, it's getting more accessible, I think, because people are getting bloody faster.
Yeah.
Obviously, it could be something to do with the shoes, the technology, training methods, could just be human genetics. But people are getting, and that's shown they're getting faster with the fact that Boston are having to bring their times down, qualifying times, make them faster. And Chicago for next year has gone up another 5 minutes for everyone. Some
And London.
categories go up 10, and London, and they're almost squeezing that field, that elite field, a little bit more. So, and
It's
that's just
true.
because of popularity.
That's a really good point, actually. What you found, people who have taken up running are naturally good at it. Like myself. What? Um,
I was thinking more about Ben.
but it is true. Ben's a perfect example.
It is.
Like, took
Yeah.
up running, all of a sudden, just ran two. Oh, he's got the best coach in the world. Or is it? But you've got people like that. He's just bang. He's trained hard and he's naturally good at it. He's run 2:56, qualified for every major that he wants to do. Thanks very much. And you can see that across just the UK, let alone everywhere else in the world,
Yeah.
where people have taken up running and then all of a sudden knocking out these times and training hard, because people were doing gym and a few other bits, and they thought, oh right, actually, oh yeah, I've seen this running on TikTok. I'm gonna go and have a go. Oh, and bang, it's their thing.
Mm.
And as you say, so that those fields, those good for ages, those qualifying times, all those more people are getting in through that way as well.
You've got more access to things like
Yeah.
Cooper. Apps like Cooper, they're training people. It's almost like before, people wouldn't have, I'm an everyday runner, I don't need a coach, I'm not getting a coach. Now you're getting people that are just starting running and thinking, I can get an online sort of coach here. I can get an app that's telling me what to do.
And
And
if you
that's
go
making them better runners.
and if you go to fordyruns.com/Cooper, you're going to get a free trial. You're welcome, by the way. fordyruns.com/Cooper. You are going to get. No, but you're right, and that's the thing. Like, I was with Amanda last night, our Hartford group. She's on the Cooper app now. She's training and she's like smashing it. She says, "I love this. I can do that." Now they've got, like, as you say, now you've got a coach in your pocket, right? That, like, Cooper is affordable. Check out the podcast we did with Pete Cooper, who like founded Cooper. It's really interesting, but that's now in your pocket. And as you say, 5 years ago, to get a coach to help you
Mm.
would have cost you, well, out me to have me, and you're going to get amazing results, by the way. Just look at Ben, Mark Sandifer, and everybody else, Annika, Dawn. I could give you a long list, but anyway, that's going to start at 50 quid a month.
Yeah.
That's punchy. All right, the results speak for themselves in terms of value for money, but you can get Cooper for whatever it is, tenner a month or whatever it is. I know they put a price increasing, but that is now helping people train for these marathons and complete these marathons, and the whole process of it, like, being this big scary thing, is like diluted a little bit because you're now able to get help from Cooper, along the way, right? I know you can get free plans and stuff like that online, which was the old method, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I also think things like this long run show, and now people are listening and hearing about people's advice and people's, whereas 10, 15 years ago, you
mm,
didn't have podcasts. You didn't have people freely talking about it and saying, jump, shoot us over a question. We're going to answer it for you. Someone might have a really burning question that's putting them off a marathon, and within
mm.
2 seconds, you're going to answer it. And they're like, do you know what? It isn't that bad, is it? I'm going to do this. Whereas 10, 15 years ago, you didn't have that. So I think this whole swell, like you said, it's not to say it's fashionable is too easy, but it's
Mm.
definitely is a massive. The running community and running in general is huge at the
I
moment.
see it on a Monday night. I do a live stream on a Monday, as you know, but I do a live stream on a Monday, and that has predominantly been shoe related, right? Running shoes, yeah. But what I have noticed over the last month, 6 weeks, more coaching questions coming in.
Yeah,
So it's quite interesting to see that. And as you say, that is now, let's say, accessible. You're getting people like me. All right, I don't think I don't know of any other people who are doing it actually, but anyway, the point is that no, it's true though, isn't it? But you're getting like we do this on live because we don't care, we don't pre-record it and edit it up and make it look all special. We take questions sometimes from like live as we're going, and as you say, you're getting people asking about these marathons, but that again, that accessibility, that barrier's come down, and it's like,
Correct.
oh, it doesn't feel as big. Oh yeah, I've just seen Adele go to Tokyo. You know
Yeah.
what? I think I could go to Tokyo because I fancy going to Japan because it's like really awesome. And now I can do a marathon there because I've always wanted to do a marathon, and now I can combine. And it's like all of a sudden, it's like,
It is. I think you referred to her earlier. So Annika, lady called Annika, for
mm,
you like don't know her, and I know obviously Chris does coach her, but she didn't. Did she have the most confidence when it come to running a year or so ago? Probably not. And she's always been a bit of a quiet person. She came out to Chicago. I'm not joking. You could just tell there was no fear. That she had the confidence. She knew. She rocked up. She had brand new Alpha Flies on. She looked the absolute business in the part. I said to her, "You're going to have a go at this?" She went, "Yep, I'm going to go sub 4." I was like, it's like that's a big chunk knocking off her time. She went, "I'm going to do it," and she done it 3:59. Honestly, massive respect to her. She just had that confidence, and it's
you know
brilliant.
what? And I tell you the great thing about Annika and her training is like I call her Mrs. Consistent.
Mm,
She is just bats out the runs. I wouldn't say, and this is not to be disrespectful, she might kill me, but I wouldn't say she like smashes all like the fast sessions, the intervals, and all that. But what she does so brilliantly is she's so consistent in the week and doing her long runs. And she
yeah,
did the same with Valencia the other year. And she just keeps going bang, 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 bang. And the byproduct of that is like you say, running a PB
performance.
in
Mm,
Chicago. So again, don't I think the thing is, we and this is the other thing, now it goes the other extreme. You see all these idiots on TikTok giving you advice. None of them just because they've run a couple of marathons, they're not got any experience, but people are listening to them, which is a sad thing. But anyway, it's just a sign of the times. And telling you've got to do this and you've got to do 400 by 600 by 1000 repeats 22 times because it's the number one running workout that Garmin have like paid them £1 million to tell you to do on YouTube. It's nonsense, right? When you strip it all back, if you do those 3 runs a week, right, and you're consistent at that over a 16-week period, chances are you'll get around just fine.
yeah,
It's
mm,
true though. It is
mm.
true, and that's how it works. Anyway, we sort of deviated off as expected. Moving on, right? Because I think this is a good topic to sort of start this. Well, we might get taken off air because we've used a really original name. So, uh, but the question: majors versus locals, right? Because I think one of the big feedbacks for me from Berlin was a lot of people didn't like it because it was so busy.
Yeah,
And busy's okay if it's done in the right way, but Berlin, which is weird for the Germans, and again, I really like German people. I used to work there. They're really good at like organising stuff. Yeah, really good at organising stuff. But in the Berlin Marathon, it seemed to go like so non-German. It was like unbelievable. But the overwhelming feedback was that it was too congested. There's too many people, and it was just total carnage. Right? That's fair, isn't it?
yeah.
I mean, I'm not just saying that because that's what the feedback we got from on this show and anyone you spoke to.
And that's not just throughout the whole right. That's at the expo. That was
Yeah,
at the starting pen. Sometimes out of
everything.
course it's absolutely fine, but yeah, a few of the big top points where that coming together, everyone was. It was. I think they struggled a bit with that, definitely.
So the question is firstly, is that taking the shine off of them majors because they're only going to get busier, right?
Yeah,
Should you, if you're looking to do marathon, maybe your first, although I'll counter that, or if you're looking to run a time or improve your time, let's say, maybe
yeah.
you've run one and you want to improve your time, should you be looking at those other ones? I'll give you an example. I was just in Manchester this weekend. I ran half the course, right? The Manchester half. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, right? Great to be in Manchester. People are amazing. And I was there for the Manchester Marathon. Didn't run it, but I ran the half. But anyway, I've got the full sort of picture, I would say. Brilliant event. Do you do that instead? I don't know. I mean, what do you think about this? I mean,
I think if we go back a year or so ago, there's been an episode, and I've always said that I think the majors, in a way, should be there to be enjoyed because it is such a big event. And if you really want to go hard and go for an event and go for a time, then probably you are best off doing it at. We keep saying local. Local's the wrong word. It depends where
Yeah,
you live. At maybe a less busy event, that might be the best way of doing it. My PB's at Edinburgh. Even though I've run 11 majors, my actual
still don't know how
PB's at
you done
Edinburgh.
that.
And then I think my third fastest time was at Boston, UK, which
Mm,
not being that that's honestly that
it's a
I
tough one.
no, I'm really good in this show. You know, I don't ever slag people off. I'm as good as gold, but you know, Boston, UK is a terrible race. It's it is
Don't
a
worry,
really
they won't
bad.
listen to it.
It was the
They won't.
first one I come back after COVID. I've done that, but again, I think it was at the time. It's my third. It was I PB there at first,
Mm,
but by now it's like my third fastest time. But considering I've run 14 marathons, 2 of my top 3 are outside of the majors.
mm.
So there's definitely something there with it. But you get to the majors and it's a so much built up to it, and a lot of them. If it's not London, you've travelled a long way. You've
Mm.
spent a lot of money. It's become a big event. You've looked up for ages. So I think when you get on that start line, maybe you're not in the absolute best sort of shape and frame of mind. You're more excited than you are sort of like focused. So, but then everyone bucks a trend and people go out this weekend. I saw people absolutely smashing Chicago Marathon
Oh yeah,
PBs.
like Annika, like you know what I
Yeah,
mean. We picked that race and we said, right, let's go and have a go at it. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? It's like, the support was there, the crowds were there. But I do know what you're saying. Like, obviously New York's coming up, right? So, New York City Marathon, you and I ran that, and we went there and had a
that is not a PB course, by the
no.
way. I'm just putting that out
Don't
there.
ever try and PB
Jesus,
there, right? I mean, if you are a hero, I've got to give Emily Heller a shout out. She's absolute machine for PB in there.
honestly.
But like that's the course to go and like just have the best time. S-
Mm,
pick a strategy to get round. Like
yeah,
don't pick a time to run. Pick a strategy that you're going to be comfortable. It's a marathon at the end of the day. But like I don't know, whatever your easy pace was in your long runs or something like that, because it is a tough course. It's up and down the whole way. It's phenomenal. It's still, I think, probably the favorite marathon I've done out of all of them. It was just, and I had probably my worst race in terms of performance.
yeah. But
Um,
performance or time, because you knew before going out there, you wasn't
Time,
going out
sorry.
there to you
And
wasn't
I
going
was
out there to
injured,
perform
and I
exactly.
was
So
injured.
I think it's the big problem as well. And people, performance and time are two different things. You
True.
might have a shocking performance but come out of a great time, and vice versa.
Yeah, true.
You know, to have a it's just that's just the way it goes. For me, I always focus on that performance. If I come out of it with a great performance and feel really good, but the time isn't what I wanted, then so what? I
But
feel good.
here's the thing, right? And I can honestly sit here and tell you, I swear, I've got no idea what time I ran in New York. I could tell you what I ran London in, but I honestly, genuinely, I'd have to look it up because I wasn't focused on the time. I was
Mm,
focused on enjoying it.
I
I
think
honestly can't tell you what time. I mean, in terms of like performance wise, I was walking at 16, like after 16 miles. That's why I refer to that. And the reason I remember that so clearly is because I was ringing everyone. I was FaceTiming everyone because I just didn't care. Um, but I honestly, hand on heart, I can't tell you what time I ran in New York. But does that matter? No, because it
no.
was my favourite marathon that I've ever run because of the experience of running New York, the flying out there with my brother, the whole weekend with Thomas believing the run, the whole crew, New Balance.
Being with me,
I
I
was
could
going to
tell you.
come on to that.
Of course you was, yeah.
No, I
Bottom
was
of the
due.
list. It's right
I
at the
was. You cut in, but and honestly, seriously, because I give him a hard time. But being there when he got his 6-star medal, I will never forget that. I was going to say that, but you.
bottom.
But no, being serious, like, but that's what made that whole weekend, and I think that's what I don't know. I think that's what the majors maybe should be more about, like those experiences,
But then the
because
majors have no control over that. Sorry, that's up to the individual going out there,
Mhm.
whether you decide to make that your race. You can't really say to someone, an organizer of a majors, you need to make this more fun for people. You know, it's up
no,
to the person going
no.
out there. If you want to go out there and run it really hard and really have a tough time and collapse over that finish line and ruin your race, that's up to you. But if you want to go out there like you did, like you said, and enjoy it and just take everything in, then you're gonna have a time of your life.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's a balance, isn't it? Do you? It depends. I suppose there is an element of like I want to do a marathon, so I want to get motivated. Um, I'm going to pick a major because I want the support. I want that big. big deal sort of feel to it, right?
Mhm.
I get that. So for your first, I totally get that. But I think once you've done them in terms of the majors, I would say focus on, maybe going towards something like yeah, a different sort of style of race. Your Manchesters, your Yorkshires, your Cardiff or New, whatever,
Newport,
just
yeah,
yeah,
Newport,
whatever, I mean, other ones, or even go like Valencia, which is, or Rotterdam. I mean, Amsterdam's
Amsterdam.
just
Mm,
Amsterdam is okay. That's another marathon I've done.
yeah,
Amsterdam, unbelievable. I had a great time in Amsterdam, mainly because Speedgoat ran 3:45 out of nowhere. I
yeah.
still don't know how he done it. And it's like that was a phenomenal race. I had a great time there. Again, I wasn't trying to run a time there or anything like that. Simon again was not very well.
It's
The
a
thing.
pattern.
Um,
So,
but
do you know what? Actually, sorry, Chris.
yeah,
Do you think then what you've just spoken about? Do you think there's some kind of like almost like a tiered system with these marathons? So, let's just say that what 6 majors are like tier one because they're up there.
Premier League.
There you go. And then tier two, we are talking about. Well, you've got to throw Amsterdam in there.
Yeah,
You've got to throw. You've got to
Valencia,
start Valencia in there. You got.
Rotterdam.
You wouldn't like it, but probably Edinburgh in there. You sort of
No,
that.
I wouldn't put Edinburgh in there.
Yeah. And then you're going to have a tier three, and I'm not going to name them because I get in trouble. But I think you know what I'm getting at. Sort
Yeah,
of
yeah,
like
yeah.
there's definitely them tiers of marathons. And I think depending on what you want to do and what experience you want, I think that's what you need to decide when you're looking at strategies. And I think about now, what we're talking October,
Mm.
you're looking at next year. I think it's quite a good strategy to adopt. Think I want one of them tier one races next year, and I think I'm going to go for a tier three where I know I'm a bit quieter. I can get out there and really put a good time down.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. I think, yeah, look at or like, as I always sort of say, is, and I'm not recommending doing multiple marathons, by the way.
Yeah,
But I think if you get into this marathon running and you get addicted like we are, and you end up doing 2 a year, so like 2 bookends, right? And I wouldn't
yeah,
recommend doing more than that, unless like the gods shine on you and you get ballots. Okay, let's put that to one side, because it is very fashionable to go and do 32 marathons a year or whatever everyone's doing, like on TikTok, right? But I think in terms of purely from a coaching perspective, right? If you're into marathons, yeah, and you enjoy being in the training blocks and you enjoy the challenge of, doing it, which is what I love, right? That's what I love. I love the being in the training block, and I love doing them, and the time's not too fussed about. I just like to see my progress. But the reason is I would do like bookend them, and I would pick one A race, right? And I would pick, and I would make that the one that you go for the time. And then, as you said, Hayden, maybe pick one of those sort of Division One or Championship, whatever you want to call it, refer it to, that sort of step down. That's maybe a fraction quieter. You get a bit more free air. You don't necessarily mind going from, instead of being in the 4 hour. Again, it's relative, but let's say the 4 hour pen, you go in the 3:45 pen because you just want to be at the back of that because you want to get a bit of free air, right? Because you're going to try and run just under 4 hours, for argument's sake. And I would go something like that. And then I would pick another one, maybe, whichever way you do it, and then go and try and get one of the majors. So you do the training block for it, you're improving. But then on race day, you don't have any pressure. You're just going there to enjoy it. And whatever time or performance comes out, It doesn't matter, because ultimately you're looking towards X, Y, and Z. Or you do the one at the front end and then you go, you know what, I had a great time. I'm going to go and have a great time there because I've already done what I wanted to do, but I'm going to learn. I'm going to get better, and I'm going to be fitter. So I'm going to be able to get round and not have to slug it out at a major.
yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, it's a great show.
I think
Yeah.
that's a good way of doing it. Don't be tempted to do like 52 marathons a year because everybody else is doing them. If you can be a little bit selective, and then you're always going to be improving. Then as a runner, you're going to be getting better because you're going through multiple training blocks. In the summer, you can work on your speed. You can, come out of a plan if you want to and work on a little bit of speed. Spend a little bit more time in the gym because it's a bit hotter, and get a bit stronger for your second training block. Mate, that's a really good way of looking at your year. If you're into this marathon running that a lot of people now are. I mean, I definitely am, and I know Hayden is Mr. Six Star.
I love it. I
Um,
must be. There's something about it. I remember God, I was talking probably 3 years ago, and the first come on the podcast, done the lightning round,
yeah,
and he's interviewing me, and I remember you said a favourite race distance. I remember saying half marathon, and honestly, I think 2 weeks later, I listened to someone else come on. They said half marathon, and you said everyone seems to say that, and I thought, why did I say that? Because I
yeah,
don't. I must be honest, I'm probably a bit scared to say it, but marathon is definitely my favourite distance. It's not something I want to do week after week, like you
No.
said, but that challenge, that period, that block leading up to it, and in general, to be fair, the actual events, a lot of them, you do get a lot of big half marathons. We know
Oh
that
yeah.
Great North runs on a different level, but that whole marathon event and everything around it is just so special. It really
Yeah.
is.
No, I bet you're right. I think it's a great way to finish. Actually, I'm with you on that. I think if anybody asked me now, I would say the marathon, and
Mm,
it's not necessarily the race, but it's the whole thing,
yeah.
the whole journey towards that finish line or that start line, whatever way you look at it. I think that would be, yeah, I'd probably be with you on that one. So there we go, people. That's the end of the originally titled podcast that we put together for you this week. I'm in York running a marathon. Hayden's laying in his around the pool at his
Well deserved. Well deserved rest.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, you have been gallivanting across the world, so we'll sort of let you. And a genuine point, if you do want us to record another one of these, probably with another title, email hello@fordyruns.com. Give us some feedback on this. We'd be interested to know because, say, a lot of people are into these marathons now. So we're kind of happy to do these as sort of pre-records every now and then, basically when we're off busy. We can jump on and do one, can't we? So
We've got loads to talk about. We could talk about fueling marathons. We could
oh,
talk about race day prep. We could talk about shakeout runs before marathons,
oh,
recovery. Loads to talk about.
you literally till the cows come home. You could just talk about the psychology, the tips. We can like literally you can dive into this deep. You could go. It's just more of a bit of time set aside to talk about because we do talk about a lot on the usual show. We try not to, believe it or not, but because we're always training for them, it does tend to slip into that conversation. So we do make a conscious effort on the live show on a Friday. The
I wonder
award-winning.
do you know anyone that give any advice on shoes for marathons at all?
Um,
That'd be handy to get a special guest in, maybe who knows a bit about shoes and footwear, and they can give us a bit of a chat about that as well. Be good.
no, I don't know
No,
anybody. I
could be a
don't.
problem. People need
Yeah.
to email in if they know anyone that knows anything
If
about
you
running
know, if
shoes.
you could email in any unbiased sort of people, honest and straight up people, yeah, to talk about running shoes for marathons, that'd be great. Email hello@fordyruns.com. But yes, that's it. Also on that, when you do email in, let us know if you need a new intro because I could put an intro together. Were you surprised I didn't do an intro for this?
I'm surprised wasn't info taking the piss out of me. Yeah.
Oh, you haven't seen the thumbnail I've got planned yet. Right, that's it. We're going now because I've got to carry on packing. It's a disaster down here. We shall see you all later. Say bye, Hayden.
See you later.